You can leave high school with a deep, nuanced understanding of the Pythagorean theorem, but a complete and total inability to decipher a 401k statement. You've been taught to memorize every significant date in the War of 1812, yet you were never offered a single strategy for the war against your own financial future. This isn't just a gap in your education, it's a canyon. If you've ever had the sinking feeling that you were deliberately and intentionally left in the dark when it comes to understanding money, you're not just being paranoid, you're not wrong. What you're feeling isn't an accident, it's the direct result of a system. And this is the story of how that system was built, brick by brick, specifically to fail you. The American public school system, as we know it today, was never intended to prepare you for the complex financial world we live in. Its architecture was laid down during the Industrial Revolution, and it had one primary overriding objective: creating a compliant, punctual, and efficient workforce for factories and assembly lines. The entire point was to mass-produce reliable employees, people who could follow instructions without question, perform repetitive tasks with precision, and clock in and out without ever questioning the bigger picture. You were meticulously trained to be a predictable and interchangeable gear in a massive industrial machine, not how to design, build, or own the machine itself. This educational blueprint actively discouraged the kind of independent, critical financial thinking that is essential for survival today. This legacy blueprint is the very reason why schools still dedicate countless hours to drilling students on broad, abstract economic concepts like gross domestic product, but conveniently and consistently skip the essential practical lessons on personal budgeting, building, and maintaining credit or strategic investing. It explains why you were forced to calculate compound interest for a math test, but were never actually shown how to make that same powerful principle work for you to build personal wealth. The result is entire generations of adults who understand the theory of money in a vacuum, but are paralyzed when it comes to applying it to their own lives. This isn't just a minor oversight, it's a foundational, structural flaw. The curriculum remains stubbornly stuck in a bygone era, prioritizing standardized tests in core subjects, while leaving practical life skills like financial management to be treated as a trivial afterthought, if they were ever thought of at all. So, if the problem is this glaringly obvious, why haven't we fixed it? The simple, infuriating answer is a toxic combination of political gridlock, ideological stubbornness, and a messy patchwork of inconsistent state-by-state rules. In the United States, there is no federal mandate for financial education. The decision is left entirely to individual states and local school boards. This creates a chaotic and profoundly unfair landscape of educational inequality. As of 2025, a growing but still insufficient number of states now require a personal finance course to graduate. This means a student in one state might receive a full semester on building wealth and navigating debt, while another student just across the border is thrown into the real world with absolutely nothing. Even when there's a clear and popular demand for change, good intentions often die slow deaths in legislative committees or become hostages in cynical political games. Look no further than the debacle in North Carolina, where a widely supported bill to require financial literacy was hastily attached to completely unrelated and controversial legislation about teacher contracts. The move was so contentious that lawmakers who had initially championed the idea of financial education ended up voting against the entire package in protest. In other states, similar common-sense proposals are routinely defeated along party lines, with politicians using arguments over curriculum details, and teacher workload as convenient, paper-thin excuses to kill progress and maintain the status quo. This political tug-of-war is made infinitely worse by a severe and chronic lack of resources. Even when a state manages to pass a financial literacy mandate, the follow-through often falls apart. Many school districts simply don't have the funding for new textbooks, software, and other materials. More critically, they lack the resources to hire or properly train educators who are certified to teach finance. While we rightly invest billions in STEM programs to compete on a global scale, personal finance is left chronically underfunded. Overburdened teachers, who are already stretched thin, are often handed a new mandate without the support, training, or curriculum they need to teach the subject effectively, dooming the initiative from the start. The collective cost of this educational failure is staggering, and it can be measured in nationwide anxiety, mountains of debt, and millions of lost dreams. On average, American adults can only answer about half of basic financial literacy questions correctly, a failing grade by any standard. This isn't just a trivia score, it's the direct root cause of widespread financial instability. As a nation, we are now saddled with over $1 trillion in credit card debt. A 2024 survey revealed that nearly half of all American workers now plan to retire after the age of 65, or simply not at all. Perhaps the most damning statistic of all is that a stunning 87% of Americans say that high school did not fully prepare them for handling their money in the real world. This crushing burden of financial illiteracy is not carried equally by everyone. The absence of guaranteed financial education in schools disproportionately harms Black, Hispanic, and low-income students. Their schools are often the most under-resourced, and their families may have less generational wealth to pass down. When financial knowledge is primarily transferred through family wealth and quiet kitchen table conversations, those who start from behind are systematically set up to stay behind. This isn't just an issue of fairness, it actively perpetuates a cycle of debt and dramatically widens the wealth gap that divides our country. By its very design, our system is leaving millions of people to learn about money through the most expensive method possible, trial and error. This path is a series of costly, stressful, and often devastating mistakes rather than a journey of deliberate, empowering education. That feeling of being anxious, overwhelmed, or hopelessly behind with your money is not a personal failing. Let me repeat that because it's the most important thing you need to hear. It is not your fault. It is the predictable, calculated outcome of a systemic failure. You were let down by an outdated educational model that was never meant to empower you in the first place, and then you were sidelined by decades of political infighting, neglect, and broken promises. The system may have been designed to keep you in the dark, but you're the one standing next to the light switch. It has become painfully clear that waiting for politicians or school boards to solve this problem for you is not a winning strategy. In the face of this reality, the most powerful act of rebellion against this broken system is to educate yourself. The path forward isn't about blaming yourself for the lessons you were never taught in a classroom. It's about taking radical ownership of your future, starting right now. It's about seeking out the knowledge to finally manage your debt, to confidently start investing, and to build a secure future that the system never bothered to prepare you for. If you're ready to take your financial education into your own hands and stop waiting for permission, subscribe to this channel and join a community that flipping the switch and leaving the darkness behind. The lesson on money was intentionally left off the official curriculum, so it's time to create your own.